Welcome, I'm Beth. This is Summer, and we are Chic Chic Crochet. Thank you for joining us. This is our very first video, so please like and subscribe. Be our very first subscriber. So let's get started. Okay, baby, you want to sit right there? Okay, you sit down. You sit down while mommy talks, okay? Okay, there you go. So I came to crochet not in the happiest of ways, but it was, all in God's timing. So my mother and my father-in-law were both in the hospital at the same time. They were in different hospitals, different states. So it was a very stressful time for my husband and I. And I somehow ended up with a crochet hook and a skein of yarn. I'm not sure if I ran to the store and picked those up, or I just don't even remember how that happened, but it was February of 2024. And that was a big relief for me. And it was special to have Mom by my side as I was learning, and she could watch and ask me what I was making or ask me what I was learning, and I could discuss it with her and show her the patterns that I was finding online. And it was a sweet time, although stressful and sad. So that's kind of how it happened, and I really, it truly was love at first stitch. I was so thankful for crochet. It came along at a time when I really needed it. As I was searching for patterns and tutorials, amigurumi started popping up in my feed, and I know it's been around forever, or for many, many years, but I didn't know it was there. And it just wasn't on my radar. My kids were grown. I don't have grandchildren. So it was just something I wasn't searching for. And when I started finding it, I was just, wow, what is this world? I was just so excited. So I started by making a ball from a tutorial I had found. So as we know, balls are the foundation for amigurumi and the magic green, so I learned that. And I made this ball for Summer, and it's very nasty and dirty. It's her favorite toy. She plays with it all the time. It's not stuffed very well, but my stitches are pretty defined, and it is what spurred me on to continue and to start amigurumi. So that was a lot of fun. After that, the first thing I made that was an actual toy was this little bunny. So as you've probably seen Elise Rose crochet, I love her. She started with a bunny as well. Now, I made this long before I ever came across Elise Rose crochet or knew who she was, but I started with bunnies also. I used to raise fancy breed show bunnies. So bunnies are my favorite animal, other than Summer, of course. And this is the bunny I started with. So I have a catalog of my progress, beginning with this one. So there he is in all his little imperfections. And this is the most recent bunny I've made. Very different from the first. This is actually Milo the hare. I didn't name him. He came with that name. So he's got all these little pieces of clothing, and he is just adorable. He was pretty complicated, and I'm so proud of myself that I actually made him. So I have advanced, as you can see. I'm quite advanced just in the amigurumi, in my humble opinion. And that Milo the hare came from Enchanted Woodland Amigurumi. And this is by Irina Lee. And I have a couple of her books, and I've already made a few of her patterns. And this is going to be something that I will review for you in the future and show you the ones that I've made. I love this book. I love the other one that I have by her. And so super fun. Really feel accomplished when I make something from this book. It's pretty awesome. Okay. And the next amigurumi I will show you is actually a whip. So this amigurumi is a free pattern by Jess Huff, and I've only found Jess Huff recently. She is not new. I think this pattern, her website's been out there for a long time, so you can go to jesshuff.com. She has a lot of free patterns just like this, and I did not anticipate this turning out as well as it did. I thought it was going to be an experiment, so I just used Red Heart Super Saver, and it is like, oh my god, it is like trying to crochet with sandpaper. I don't enjoy it. I use Red Heart for a lot of things, but this white, oh my gosh, it's so scratchy. And I was about here on the snout until I was in deep regret. But then I had ordered a furls hook, which was the first furls hook I'd ever bought. And up until then, I had made it with Clover and More, which I love. They're great. But the furls hook is a metal hook. It's one of the weighted ones, and it came as I was about right here. So I put down the Clover and More and picked up the furls, and then it was much smoother. And if you've never used a furls hook, I suggest you try one at least once in your lifetime if you can. They are really cool. I bought it on sale a couple of weeks ago, so I had admired them for ever since I started crochet and saw all of the influencers talking about them. It was something that I aspired to own. So I finally took the plunge and bought one while it was on sale. And I bought two sizes, the sizes I use the most, which are a 5mm and a 3.5. And I was already using 3.5 on this, so I threw down my Clover, picked up the furls, and then it was much easier. It was much easier, and also the furls, the hook, the head is much smaller than the other ones. Well, I'll compare it to Clover since that's what I'm talking about. So on a 3.5mm hook, the shaft size, of course, is 3.5mm, but the hook head size is much smaller. So it was so much easier to make the really tiny intricate stitches, plus the hook is pointed at the head, so I could just really, get in there, and it really helped me sculpt the head. So I think it just turned out fantastic. Thank you, furls, and thank you, Clover and More. I love those two, but I don't have a lot of thank you to give to Red Heart. Although I guess I should. Most of this is made out of Red Heart, but anyway. So didn't she turn out so pretty? I have a question though. I really need help with this. I do not love the pattern body for this particular unicorn. Mine turned out a little more realistic than hers. I did try to really sculpt it. I did not modify it in any way. I just was very careful and intentional with my stitches, and I wanted it to look very realistic. And I used her technique for setting the eyes, but I cinched them a little bit more, and I was just careful with the placement of my ears and my horn and my head. And anyway, I just tried very hard to make it super special, which I think it did turn out very special. And I'm not sure I love the body in her pattern for it. It's kind of a splooting toy where the limbs are just more like stuffed animal toy-ish, and not, it would be good for a market plushie maybe, but for a keepsake, I'm not so sure. And should I put a horse or unicorn body that is standing on all fours and where the legs are stitched into the pattern as you go, and they're not pinched and sewn on to the body? If you know what I'm talking about, could you please drop your comments, ideas, or pattern links? If it's a paid pattern, that's fine. It doesn't have to be a free pattern at all. But I would love to hear your ideas if you can think of a pattern that might be compatible with this. I would love to hear your ideas. So thank you. I would like to move on to talking about some bags. So I learned to make granny squares fairly early on, and granny squares are so versatile. If you don't know how to make them, I highly suggest you do, because you can make so many things out of them. If you don't like all the mixed colors, you don't have to use the mixed colors. You can use all one color. You can just make so many things. You can make bags, you can make sweaters, you can make blankets, pillows, lots of different types of clothing. So I highly suggest you learn the granny square if you have not learned that already. If I can do it, I know that you can too. So here is the first bag that I made with the granny squares. And this bag normally would have 13 granny squares. So I'm sorry, I'm gonna get that situated for you. So normally it would have 13 granny squares. So there's 5 in the front, 5 in the back. Then you have the 2 on each side here and 1 at the bottom. So that totals 13. And I added 2 more, as you can see. So this one has 15. So it would have one strap. If you do the 13 version, the 13 square version, you're going to have 2 straps, which is fine. That's beautiful. I have one of those as well, but I wanted this to be a crossbody and I did not want to deal with 2 straps. So that's why I did it that way. I'll see if I can let you see how it looks. So I like to wear it like this. It's really fun. It's good market bag. It's good for shopping. It's good for travel. It's just a really fun bag. And it also is almost exclusively all red heart. It is fussy. If you have not made granny squares yet, you have to change colors with every row. So if you want this look, and that's why I was saying, if you want to make them all one color, there's nothing wrong with that. You can do that. This white, although I was really critical of the red heart yarn before, I will say this white was really dirty because I carried it all last year and I did not wash it. So this year when I pulled it out, it was very dingy and yucky around here. I threw it in the washing machine. It came out very soft and none of the colors ran. Nothing came apart and all of the dirt came out. It looks almost better than it did brand new. I think it does look better washed. It's just even better than when it was freshly made. So I like this bag. It's cool. It is a really fun make. I know that it's everywhere, but if you are finding me when you are new to crochet, I highly suggest you give this a shot because it is a lot of fun and you will enjoy it. And if you ever give one as a gift, I've given several and my friends and family love, love, love them. We just had the 4th of July and I wanted a red, white, and blue one to carry for myself. So I whipped this one up. This one does have the 13 square pattern. So it does have the 2 straps. And I also have a clover pom-pom maker, which is what I use to make this little fella here. But as you can see, I have all the color and I used a variegated yarn, so I did not have to keep changing colors. So I really like that. It went very quickly and I just enjoyed it a lot. And then I used this yarn, which is kind of it's got like a heathering to it. It's blue. It's a different blue than this royal blue, of course, but it looks like denim. That's why I liked it. It gave it a denim look. So well, I'll model this one for you too. So it looks like this. And I definitely got tons of compliments on it. And I plan to wear it probably for the rest of the summer. So I'll finish this bag roundup with this bag that I most recently made. And it is a hexagon granny square. It kind of looks like a flower. And then of course I added the tassel. I ordered these wooden handles from Amazon. Gives it a different look. And I have not used or carried this bag. I meant to give it as a gift, but I don't have anyone in mind for it just yet, but I'm sure I'll think of someone. And these wooden handles I attached myself. I didn't use a pattern. I just kind of made the hexagon squares and then just, is a hexagon really a square? No, but you know what I mean. So I freehanded it and put it together. And the opening is a little small. I mean, I could carry it, get my hand down in there, but it would be kind of irritating. I'm not sure. So does anyone have any suggestions how I could reconfigure this and the next one I can make that I could improve upon this design? I would love to hear your thoughts on that. My final make, it's actually a whip that I'm going to share with you today. The idea originally began with a gift, a baby gift for this adorable little newborn baby girl. And I made a mermaid tail for her. So kind of like a photo prop. So the tail comes down, you put the baby inside, and then you have the tail at the bottom, the fin at the bottom of the tail. You can use it like a blanket or use it as a photo prop. It was just something cute. So I made that for her. And after I finished it, I realized that I would like to have one for myself. I know that sounds crazy, but I love summertime. I love the ocean. I love the beach. I love all things nautical and marine life. I just love all that. I was born in the sign of water. It is in my soul. So I get very discouraged and a little depressed in the winter when it's cold. We live in the South, in the United States, but it can get cold here. And I do have a little place at the beach I can retire to in the winter and wait for winter to pass, but it's cold there too. So I just thought, if I had a mermaid tail in the winter and I just snuggled down inside that mermaid tail, I think it would make me very happy. So here I am, this grown woman, making a mermaid tail for myself. That's how that happened. So here it is. It's what I have so far. We're only, I don't know, not even halfway there, but it's going to be very warm and cozy for a mermaid tail, and it weighs a ton because these crocodile stitches have a lot of stitches. So you have 4 double crochets on each side and a chain stitch in the middle. So you essentially have 9 stitches to make 1 stitch. And this thing is heavy, but I think it's going to be really cool in the winter. So I'm going to snuggle down inside of here. And then at the point here is where the fin would be. So I'm going to make this long, beautiful, flowing fin right here. The yarn I'm using is from Hobby Lobby. It's a Yarn Bee Sugar Wheel, and the colorway is Gelato is my motto. Can you see that? It's pretty cool. So I guess you can see how that changes. So in each skein of yarn, it goes from this color to this color, or vice versa. So this is 1 skein, this is 2 skein, this is 3 skein, and I just began the 4th. So we're starting on the 4th skein. What do you think? Am I crazy? Am I a nut for making this? I don't know. If you want to see how it turns out, please stick with me and return, and we will see how that goes. I think this is lastly that I'm going to discuss is my craft room. I don't have one. We have an empty nest now, so we have plenty of room in the house, but I have an office. I work out of the house a lot, so I have that. When I stayed at home with my kids, I had a lot of art stuff going on. So I painted, I had a mural business, I worked in watercolors and oils, acrylics, all that. I also was a potter, so I had a potter's wheel, I had my own kiln, I had all those things. But we built this house, and when I moved in it, the kids had grown up enough to get themselves to school, make their lunches and all that, and I did not need to stay home with them. So I went to work, and I have a career, and I have not had time to do these things. So this is another reason that crochet has become so important to me. I can do it from anywhere. It doesn't require a lot of fuss, but now I have acquired a lot of yarn and I would like some studio space to film. So I am thinking of trying to merge my office and a craft room together. I'm not sure, but I hope you will stay with me and join me for that journey. So we will begin to do that soon. Will be coming soon. If I'm not too embarrassed, I will bring you along for the ride. I'm normally pretty particular and fastidious about my house and how things look, and I don't know that I will let you in there until it is perfected. And I have enjoyed watching you all in this community start their craft room or revamp their craft room, create it, and I should not be so prideful that I won't let you into that part of this journey. So I will try. That's something I need to work on for sure. If you want to know a little bit more about Summer, she is an Imperial Shih Tzu, and she was born on March 10th, 2020. So she's a COVID baby. She's 5 years old, and she is just my precious little love. She's my precious little love. I do have 2 human babies that have grown and left my nest, but this little baby is going to stay right here with her daddy and I forever and ever. I have a feeling she's going to be a fan favorite. Can you say bye-bye? Summer, can you say bye-bye? Bye-bye. Can you say bye-bye? Bye, we'll see you next time.
Chic Chic.